I've found that Americans, by and large, have disconnected from the sort of general fabric of the way our country used to operate. At least that was my impression. And so last year I embarked on a trip to see if that American culture that I recognized as being part of was still there. And I was surprised that it very much was.
What do I do when you pick up the guitar and start playing?
What do you mean, what do you do?
What do I do? I'm sitting there talking, you pick up a guitar, and you look off into the distance, and you start playing guitar. Am I supposed to talk? Am I supposed to sing along? Am I supposed to say, oh, interesting?
Are you feeling uncomfortable?
I'm very uncomfortable.
Really?
See, I don't have anything like that. And I'm just talking.
It makes sense. What do you do? Do you talk?
And he looks off to a faraway... He just looks off far away.
Right.
And he just starts playing his guitar.
Like in a different world.
Do I talk?
Right. To me, you're in my home.
Right.
Right. It's a conversational thing, so it's part of the conversation.
Okay.
So I don't expect you to be reverential or anything. I thought we were just having a conversation. That becomes part of the conversation.
You're a very big name.
Yeah, but see, that's where you're wrong.
Okay.
See, in my home, we're just hanging out. It's just
Right.
like I could be 18 years old.
Okay.
Buddies. I'm not thinking, hey, I'm this guy and you've got to listen. That was the farthest thing from mine. So you're projecting your own uncomfortability on me.
I understand.
Isn't it refreshing, though, to have someone not kiss your ass, as Billy Corgan? Same with Mancow. Don't you feel good when people, like little kids,
You're assuming that I'm surrounded by people who kiss my ass. I don't have anybody who kisses my ass in my life.
So where are you? You're headed across America. You're going to meet people.
But no, try not to take any state highways, so only state roads. So you really go on the old byways of America. And it's interesting. I mean, you see some of these communities just completely devastated by meth and all that stuff, where you can really see these communities hollowed out. And then there's these little pockets where you still see the America that I remember, still standing tall and proud. And if someone was to ask me what are particularly American characteristics that go beyond race or class or social status, I would say hard work and sort of a belief that anybody can reach the top. And there was a sense in America over the last decade that maybe that wasn't necessarily the case anymore. And I found that those ideals are very much still strong within the root of the American community, particularly in what they call flyover country.
How often are you going to check in with us? You're traveling across America,
once a week,
writing new songs.
Nice.
I think every other day is what I'm going to need.
Whatever you want.
When you're up, call me. If you get up early, call me.
We'll be up early for sure.
Okay, just make.
We'll call you from the road. We could give you little adventures.
How many songs will come out of this?
Probably about. You mean new songs or what we're going to record and put out?
Songs. Are you going to record songs in the RV?
I'm gonna play a bunch of old songs that I've written in this one project that I'm working on. I've tried to do like a box set of some of my favorite songs, acoustic.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do a set of covers, and then I'm writing new songs. So I'll be playing a lot of the cover songs and my old songs daily. I'm sort of open to the idea that maybe there's a new way to kind of create a communal collective between what I do and what people want to hear. So is there a reason to play an old song in a particular context that might speak to a certain mood in a certain day? That's perfect for what I would want to do.
Are you going to show up at local places and just play?
Yeah.
Without people knowing?
Well, there's different ways to do it.
The turnips.
See, before when I did it last year, I was mostly working on new music, so when people would ask me to play, I would feel reluctant because I didn't want to play the new songs.
Because you're working on new stuff.
Well, it's kind of weird to play a song that you kind of have half the lyric or something. So I've got a bunch of material prepared, so when people ask me to play if we're in Poughkeepsie somewhere and we go into a pizza place and say to the guy, hey, you mind if we set up and we'll play a set or something? We're going to do stuff like that. I've come to realize that true American success is rooted in the communal and collective spirit, and that runs through rock and roll, it runs through wrestling, it runs through most of the things that we celebrate in American life as being sort of part of the fabric of America. Like what we represent as generational memory is usually communal.
Okay, he's here.
Willie.
Wow, I mean, got comfortable real quick.
Willie. Hey, Willie.
I've had a strange journey with technology and media as it pertains to the social sphere, because in the beginning I was all about it. And I thought, this is fantastic. It's like a laboratory that I can completely and continually work in and get good feedback on. I didn't realize that internet culture by and large, at least let's call it first wave internet culture, was going to be particularly negative. That people were going to make their names by being negative, that they were going to gain a social status against people of accomplishment by being negative. And as an artist and as a sensitive person, I found that sort of troubling. Here I was arguing with somebody who'd never accomplished anything in their life about my song from 14 years ago.
Has fame been tough?
No.
Did
You
you
enjoy
always
being
want to?
famous?
Did you always want to be famous?
I did when I was a kid because I think I glamorized what I thought fame was. And it took being famous to find out that it was nothing like I thought it was.
Well,
If you think of fame, let's say somebody becomes famous in their 20s, which is usually when they become famous, and they live to a normal life expectancy of 75, let's say that's 50 years. The chance of those 50 years, how long are they going to truly be at the top level of their game?
well,
10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years if they're lucky.
the average is 7 years, and there's a buildup of a couple of years, and there's
Right, so there's a lot of years there where you've got to deal with other people's ideas about who you are, what you were, what you're supposed to be, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. And that intrusion on my life path has always been a weird thing to me, because I feel that most people have an opinion about me, don't care enough about me to actually care what happens. It's sort of like, it's like giving an opinion to somebody walking past you on the street and then not caring whether they drop dead 2 feet once they walk past you.
Here, let me put on my hat.
There you go. Looking good.
Huh?
Looking good.
Well, I wanted to hear that there was going to be a lot of women and drugs and, Magical Mystery Tour. And when the Beatles did their Magical Mystery Tour, they thought crazy stuff was going to happen, and nothing happened. I think it's a roll of the dice. It could be great, or it could be a colossal bore sitting in an RV. I don't know. I think Billy is. I think William. Billy is the product. William's the guy. I think William is going through a great battle right now, and I think there's a tug of war going on, and I think it's good versus evil, and I think they're fighting for his soul, and I think famous Billy is fighting Father William, and I think they're duking it out. So there's 2 separate guys you're dealing with on this trip. So are you going to see the madman Billy or the cool, collected RV driver William? I want to see who wins,
31.
good or evil.
What was your favorite part?